This is Jaden Patel and Kian Nichols presenting the India-Pakistan conflict. We'll be discussing pre-colonial Hindu-Muslim relations, how the British contributed to the division between the two groups, the fight for independence and partition of nations, and all that's happened after that. Pre-colonialism. So before British colonization, Hindu-Muslim relations were generally good. There was a Sufi Bhakti movement that brought Hindus and Muslims together to spark conversation. Akbar the Great of the Mughal Empire was known for his promotion of religious tolerance and unity. The two groups also took inspiration from each other's music and architecture, as well as celebrating holidays together. Before the English, the Indian subcontinent was ruled by many empires, such as the Mughal, Sikh, and Maratha Empire. The British East India Company ruled some provinces known as princely states indirectly, some examples of which include Baroda, where my family is from, Mysore, and Jaipur. These princely states would have different coexisting religions, languages, traditions, and governments.
British colonization. England employed divide and conquer tactics to create divide and chaos between religions, mainly between Hindus, the majority, and Muslims, the largest minorities. Because Hindus and Muslims worked together in the First Indian Rebellion of 1857, the British employed the following tactics of division. When elections were held, you could only vote for someone of your religion. The British showed favoritism to one religion over another in diverse areas. Exaggerating the difference between the groups, they supported the creation of organizations separated by religion. The Indian National Congress, the INC, was one of the largest organizations that advocated for Indian rights and independence. The INC had all religions represented in their members and promoted religious unity and harmony. The Hindu Mahasabha was an organization that split from the INC to advocate for the protection of Hindu rights and heritage. The All India Muslim League advocated for the protection of the Muslim minority and later the creation of a separate Muslim nation.
The fight for independence and partition of India. The Lucknow Pact of 1916 was a resolution passed by the INC and All India Muslim League to put aside religious differences and focus on independence in the interests of both groups and ensuring equal representation. However, events like the partition of Bengal fanned the flames of eventual division. This early partition separated West and East Bengal based on Hindu and Muslim majorities, respectively. This led to religious disagreement and violence because, as we saw in the class activity, many regions of Bengal were split almost 50-50 Muslim and Hindu. Direct Action Day was declared by the Muslim League on August 16, 1946, calling for a separate Muslim country, bringing nationwide riots, the worst of which occurring in Calcutta. India gained independence on August 15, 1947, the same day that the partition of India, led by Jawaharlal Nehru, and Pakistan, led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, was announced. West Punjab would become West Pakistan, and East Bengal would become East Pakistan, and later Bangladesh. The census was drawn by Sir Cyril Radcliffe, who had never formally been to India. He used inaccurate censuses, outdated maps, and a limited amount of time to draw the Radcliffe line. The partition saw forced migration and people fleeing to avoid religious-based violence. Many people were forced to leave the places they had called home for generations, often leaving family behind in the process. The partition saw sexual violence, mass killings, and trauma that lasts to present day. The partition saw an estimated 1 million lose their lives, 14 million refugees displaced and uprooted from their homes, and over 100,000 women kidnapped and forced to marry their captors. A quote that encaptures partition is from Faiz Ahmed Faiz. The tragedy of the partition is the partition of the human heart.
Post-partition and modern times. East Pakistan, with Indian support, declared independence from West Pakistan, forming Bangladesh after the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971. The Kashmir conflict is an extremely controversial and complex issue. Partition let princely states, like the province of Jammu and Kashmir, choose what country to be a part of. Kashmir was under the rule of a Hindu Maharaja and had a large population of Hindus, but the majority of the region was Muslim. The decision of which country to join has been a cause of bloodshed, oppression, and injustice from both sides to this day. 1947, you had partition, princely states like Kashmir forced to choose between nations. 1947-1948, the first Indo-Pak War over Kashmir. 1957, India claims Jammu and Kashmir as autonomous states. 1965, second Indo-Pak War over Kashmir. 1971, Simla Agreement enacted aiming to create peace between the two nations. 1999, Pakistan invaded Indian-occupied Kargil, Kashmir, sparking violence, and now the present, the conflict is still going on. As joint occupation and multiple treaties have not solved this conflict, the dispute over Kashmir is far from over. The region is the most militarized zone in the world. The future of India and Pakistan's relationship will most likely continue to be harmful as politicians in both countries show strong disdain for the other side. And thank you.